This is some of the worst concert stories I have come across on TikTok, and when I tell you that I'm like triggered. Oh no.
She got sick on me. I was just scared. I literally froze.
Some people at concerts, like honestly, they just need to get a grip. You wanted to surprise your boyfriend with concert tickets to his favorite artist, but it ends up being the worst concert ever.
Are you confused?
A little bit confused.
I'm confused. Are we thinking the same thing?
Oh, I love his music.
I ruined my boyfriend's favorite artist by taking him to a concert.
No.
We're gonna fix it with Macca's ice cream now.
At least you found a McDonald's with a soft serve machines actually working, because that would have just like absolutely KO'd the night.
I think one, the technical side of things. Two, the speakers are incredibly loud.
Do you know those torture methods where they put you in a room with really loud music?
It was like that for a second.
That's how I felt.
Oh no. I wonder if this is purely just because of the sound. I went to a concert one time and I went from like Queensland, Brisbane, you know, especially back in like 2019. Indoor bright side. Trash. Apparently it's gotten better. I don't think I've been to a gig since. So I think it was 2020, just before the lockdown. I managed to squeeze in one extra gig. And that gig had to hold me over for all of lockdown. This was my first time seeing Wage War. I was so excited. Kind of remember who they played with. You know, there's a Japanese band. It has like a snake. I always want to call it Silver Circle. Crystal Lake. So Crystal Lake was on before Wage War. Brutally murdered my eardrums. Like, I'm really sensitive to highs anyways. Let a girl not bleed. I have never been to a show so bad. And I wish back then I knew about air protection, because maybe it's not your artist's fault.
Do an impression of him leaving the stage. Right away. And he was in the middle of the song, he's like,
oh no. I kind of like vibe with that energy. Another band that I've seen, Counterparts. Every now and then I was like, hey, like I've never seen an artist like this before. Why is he talking to the crowd that way? But I think he was like just kind of like an anxious soul. So Brendan, which is like the vocalist, like crouched down by the drum kit, but he'd be like, how are you guys going tonight? You can't really see him. But like, yeah, maybe say thank you, travel safe, see you later. I wasn't there, so I don't know who this artist is. Who is it? Wait, this is in Sydney too, okay. Did they not provide earplugs? That's crazy. I've never been to a show where I've seen earplugs get supplied. I mean, obviously you can use your like disposable earplugs. I highly recommend getting some of these. I feel like they should be more accessible. Ben Howard, I don't know who that is, but someone has said, oh no, I love Ben Howard. But then someone else said, hit the Brisbane gig last night, it was amazing. I went to an ABBA concert recently and the speaker system ruined the entire thing. Brother, if you are going to host gigs, if you're like, I have a bar, I want some live music, know a little bit about live music. Don't be like, $200 Kmart speakers, let's fucking go. Who is Ben Howard? I agree with this. Who the fuck is Ben Howard? POV picked the worst time to leave the concert. That song's gonna be copyrighted. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Da, 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 da. I was literally thinking about this when I was at 21 Pilots last week or the week before. What if you gotta go? At multiple points, the boys were popping up in multiple different places. The security team, they were like on point. I was thinking about it then as well, because you're constantly seeing people when you're sitting in the grandstand, which I've never known this before because I'm usually on the floor. The only show prior to this year that I had sitting down was for Motley Crue. So I was like, kind of people watching. I was a little curious to see what people do, and people like leaving all the time. I'm like, there's music playing, where are you going? What's more important right now? Your bladder? Like, I would rather let my bladder explode, personally. Oh no. Girl, sit down. Girl, sit down, you're at the front. No one else is standing. Please don't copyright me. What's wrong with her? What's happening? Oh, is it because she's standing up? Wait, who? Who told me? You told me to sit down? Girl, just push the chairs out of the way and start a circle bit. Let's go. Let's go. She's so confident that she's right. I will say that I am all for, like, if you're in a seated place to stand, but other people need to be standing. This lady, she's given an influencer in the wild. Like, she's not really looking around and being considerate of the people around her. And, like, those people just being like, hey, like, can you please sit down? I don't think we should be rude. I don't think we should be like, oh, get the fuck down. So she was rude. POV, you go to your first metal festival.
Thanks for taking me to my first first metal festival.
She
babe.
looks amazing. I love her outfit.
Welcome. Are you ready for it?
So it's like real heavy shit, like Blink-182 or Green Day, right?
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah.
Slaughter to Prevail, let's go. Oh no. I love the metal community. I love these little like memes. I have no doubt in the world that she knows who Slaughter to Prevail is. Now that I don't have blue hair or black hair, I feel like I'm about to get a world of shit. I'm probably about to experience for the first time in my life people saying that I don't visually look like my personality and how I present to me. I love when they lean into that, you know, like girly pops don't know what heavy is. Girly pops think Green Day is heavy. I wouldn't even say give it to the max. I've definitely met some chicks who also like, you listen to that? Traumatized.
I had one of the worst experiences at the Eras Tour Night 1 at Gillette Stadium. Like so many of you, I worked incredibly hard to secure my tickets to Taylor Swift. I spent $450 on my floor ticket, which I acknowledge is incredible. I got to be on the floor.
I'm guessing that's $450 US. I wonder what that is over here. That's probably close to $800. That is a lot. It's days like this and I'm like, thank God I had a fucked up childhood, fell into being a 2010 emo, because like no shade towards Taylor Swift. I purely just like didn't lean over there. I didn't fall over there. I think my mom listens to Taylor Swift. My Motley Crue tickets were $600 and I was like, this is the most I will ever spend on a show. Oh, it's a lot of money.
I went by myself. I wasn't able to secure a second ticket to take my sisters or my friend, so I was in there by myself.
If you've been scared than a turkey on Thanksgiving to go to a gig by yourself, like hands up real high. I missed out on so many shows in my life. Even to this day, like I still struggle to find people to go to shows. Like the absolute best feeling, like almost on level with having lemon juice on pancakes instead of maple syrup, is when you actually have someone to go to a gig with you and they are in it. Like, they are like jumping the fuck yeah, and you're just like fuck yeah, and it's like two of you just like fuck yeah.
So we're at the end of the folklore era. I remember hearing parts of My Tears Ricochet when the girl next to me throws up. And unfortunately for her and
what? If you have that phobia where you're like super scared of vomit, like don't blame you, skip to here.
she didn't really have anywhere to go when she started getting sick, so she got sick on me. I had puke on my face, in my hair, all over my clothes.
Hi, I'm Ruth Smith. I have Crohn's disease. You might not know completely what Crohn's disease is, because no one really does. It changes for everybody. My Crohn's disease makes me throw up. And like, this is my biggest fear. On concert days, like, not eating for quite a few hours beforehand, because if I get sick... She said she had nowhere to go, so she went on you. I mean... I don't want to picture it. Could she have like gone on her feet? Like, how widespread was this for it to have gone on you?
So I go up to several security guards and I'm like, can someone please help me? Can someone get me towels? I had puke all over me. Security was not helpful. They wouldn't get me a towel. I had ran to the back of the floor to try and get napkins from like the food area. There were no napkins left, so I'm standing there crying and begging for security to find me some sort of towel so I can just clean up.
That really sucks. Like, I hear a lot of horror stories with security in the States, and you guys have so many shows over there.
In the process, I'm standing in the aisle talking to security, and another security guard comes up to me and he starts screaming at me.
Excuse
He's
me?
like, you can't be here. You're not allowed in between the pink lines of the tape. And I'm crying like, I can't go back to my seat. There's throw up on my seat. And he's like, well, then go clean it, but you're not allowed to be in the tape. And I was like, I'd love to clean it. I'd love to clean myself off. But I don't know where to get towels. I don't know where to get paper towels. I don't know what to do.
Oh my god, that's awful. I think the metal community has been a little bit more equipped for a longer time, at least security-wise. Even like the hardcore scene, right? They've been around since 80s or 90s. I wouldn't go fucking near a hardcore pit. Like, my head would be clean off over into the next day. I think security is a little bit more like alert. They may need medical attention. Crowd surfing, very common. You need to know to catch them. Oh, did anybody hear about the alpha? I got so excited. Anyone hear about the Alpha Wolf drama where security were purposefully I think this was in the States. They were purposefully dropping the brothers. Security man meant to pick you up, pop you down like you're in Dancing with the Stars. Security guards were like purposefully dropping them. Is his name Sebastian? I think he went up and like kicked him in the back of the head. No, took his beanie. I don't know, it got a little bit rumbly tumbly. I kind of need to go back to see how the messy Taylor Swift show finished.
In the process, I missed the rest of folklore and I missed the entirety of the 1989 era. To miss an entire era, approximately 6 to 7 songs, is devastating. It just is. And I don't blame the girl for getting sick. It's such a hard environment to be in. But I am upset that when I needed help, nobody knew how to help me. People were just kind of staring at me and passing me off to the next person. And in the process, I miss a chunk of the show. And the icing on the cake, I got puke on my new Taylor Swift sweatshirt. I was told to go to merchandise at the end of the show to swap it out. I went to merchandise at the end of the show and they said, we're not taking your sweatshirt and we can't give you a new one because we can't sell yours and make a profit off it anymore.
Wait, did they actually use that? Surely they didn't actually use that word. I swear, I have like a squishmallow for a brain. Like a mini one of them fuckers just swirling around up here. I really hope they didn't use that wording. I understand that would have been the context behind what they said. 100% that's what they would have meant. I hope they weren't that blunt.
I don't want to sound like a brat because I know I'm so fortunate to have been there. And I did also get to go to Philly the week prior. But when you drive from North Carolina up to Boston and you spend money on tickets and hotels and parking and everything else, and the only way you ever get clean is because the couple next to you uses their own clothes to wipe you down, it sucks. And I just hate that security screamed at me rather than help me.
They should have medics on board that should have been able to at least assist the girl that threw up, make sure she was okay. I hope some medics kind of charged on in there to see. I know it's a big production. I don't really know how that world works too much. 21 Pilots, there was a medical problem in the midst just before he was going to get the sweet little boy to sing. And the sweet little boy is just standing there on the stage just waiting. Like just waiting his little heart out. Well, so he had to go and get medics sent into the middle of the pit. Even Tyler himself was like, medics, are you there? Like, come on, like get a pep in your step, like move quicker. And I always thought that like Australia was like pretty good for this sort of stuff. Like, I don't know. Let me just show you this Alpha Wolf thing real quick. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, so security pulled him off. And the old man just, oh my god, he's dude's there with the guitar, like, I will hit you. So if you couldn't quite see it, I think Lockie, which is the vocalist, started to see that security is pretty much dropping these crowd surfers. And I think he's trying to help catch him there, and Lockie grabs the hat. Security guy pulls Lockie down, I think.
Someone grabbed you and dragged you off stage while performing, all because you were trying to watch out for people crowd surfing that security was letting fall over the barricade on their heads and their necks. And literally, the security guard grabs you, drags you, makes you hit the stage so hard you damage the stage. That'd be fists, right? Well, that just happened to Alpha Wolf at one of their last shows. Security guard just went ham.
I like one of the comments here. It's like Alpha Wolf skipped fists and went straight to guitars. Automatic breach of contract and lawsuit against the venue. The thing is, at least here in Australia, like you'll go to somewhere like, I'm not blaming any of the festivals here, but like you'll go to some shows, some venues, some festivals, and you will see signs that say no crowd surfing, no mosh pits. I don't actually think the bands, the organizers, the festivals probably don't see that as a realistic expectation, but I think legally those signs do have to be put up. I think, for like public liability. If we had seen it, we would have jumped in with them. Those are boys. I actually love the success that Catch Your Breath is gaining. If you're a security staff at a venue that's maybe said you can't do this, like I think you also have to be kind of realistic and be like, this is a metal show, there's no way in hell we're going to be able to stop this. I've only ever needed security assistance once. It was at Westfest 2015. Anyone remembers that? I managed to get barricaded. I don't know how. I wanted falling in reverse. I wanted to escape the fate. I was standing next to all the motherfucking brothers. And I had a friend next to me at the time, and then I was on like the end of everybody that I knew. I was so proud of myself that day, like looking back, little anxious mood. She survived like, I don't know, a couple hours. Come to wonder years. A girl manages to elbow herself to barricade. Like, understand the hustle of elbowing your way through a crowd. Like, it's kind of rude, but I feel like there's kind of nice ways to do it. You can't really just stand at the back, because at the back there's so much gappage. And if you want to dance and move, I think you should be allowed to move into the dance and move area. How far into that you go, read the crowd, I don't know. That could be an unpopular opinion, and maybe I only get away with it because I'm so little. Usually people drag me in front of them. I don't know, I'm 5 foot. But anyway, we had been at barricades since gates open. Wonder Years is happening. Girly pop, haven't met her yet, but in the background, she's making her way to the barricade. And I start kind of feeling a nudge in me, and I'm like, at this point I'm kind of getting used to the pit behind me, and I'm like, this is really fun. My little anxious self is holding it together. I used to have panic attacks when someone would look at me. Like, I don't think the YouTube family knows this. I had anxiety so bad that the therapist told me this is the worst case in 25 years we've seen at this clinic, and you're past the point of therapeutic help. That's where that was at. All of a sudden I hear, you don't even like them. I think she's not talking to me. My only friend is right here. She's not talking to me. And I kind of look to my side, and she's like facing me, like girly pop facing me, like hello. I was like 16, 17 at the time, and I have this engraved in my memory still. This is how traumatizing it was. I believe it went Wonder Years, Escape the Fate, Falling in Reverse. And because I kind of like turned, she took that chance to get in front of me to kind of push herself ahead, and I was just like, ah. This was like too much aggression for me. Next thing I know, can't breathe. Vision going. I'm like, oh, probably like 50 minutes away from seeing Ronnie Radke and Jackie Vincent. Jackie Vincent. To be honest with you, he is such a big icon in my teenage year. I can't even tell you if he's a good guitarist anymore. The story is getting somewhere, okay? I kind of lock eye with one of the security guards that I believe was chit-chatting with my friend group before all the band started. I don't have much recollection after locking eyes with this chick and realizing that she had this fake beef with me. I was like, why does someone hate me? No one should hate me. And that was majority of my anxiety, to be honest. He kind of comes up and he's like, are you okay? And I'm just like, he literally just like arms under my little armpits. He just like picks me up out of the barricade, plops me on the ground, and like I think he walked me to the end and was like, you can just hop down there, you'll still be able to see the show. I met some guy there that was like happy to hang out with me even though I couldn't really talk. He was just standing around me. I think he just thought I was cute. But that's my only interaction I've ever had with security, and from that point I'm like, I respect you. Speaking about the Falling in Reverse show, I haven't, like the pre-sale went live 2 hours ago. I guess we're sitting!
Hi, my name is Mimi, and I was at the London Hammersmith show for the Emails I Can't Send tour last night, and it was probably one of the worst concert experiences of my life. It had nothing to do with Sabrina. She slayed, she did her best, she honestly was amazing, but the issue was some of her fans. I had 3 boys and a couple girls basically take the piss out of me, call me annoying, calling me weird, calling me other names, reading the texts on my phone when I started panicking because of the fact I was being called names and shit, and just being generally so judgmental and rude and mean.
I'm not gonna say that metalheads are ever free. Like, we are some of the judgiest bitches. I haven't really had anyone kind of call me out on shit. I feel like when it comes to things like Sabrina Carpenter, your music might not be your whole identity, so things can be a little bit more wobbly, and I feel like this happens more frequently than what we've heard.
Did I divulge my thoughts here like a proper adult? No. Growing up as a metalhead, I can very much say that music is like my only personality trait, and I know like loads of people that would say the same. Like, it's kind of like a joke, but also we just spend a lot of our time looking into this, and I'm just saying, I'm assuming people in other genres, it might be more likely that they have other interests in their life. Tell you what those interests are? Oh my god, I'm a piece of shit. I am so sorry. It's really nothing to brag about. I shouldn't admit this on the internet. Short story, longer than what physicists actually thought it could be. Gig etiquette and concert norms just don't really seem to be common sense. By the end of the day, if you're rude and bullying someone, you're just a piece of shit. That's really not picket fence to me. That's so off-brand.
It was horrible. It was probably...
Oh, she is so upset. I'm actually proper sorry that has happened. Like, that should not fucking... Like...
It reminded me of being back in school and being bullied again, you know, like... And I don't know how I'm going to be at another concert ever again because I was just scared. I literally froze. I cried. They were saying how I was ruining their night and all this kind of thing because I was loud and trying to be flamboyant and enjoy myself at a fucking concert for an artist I love.
There's like 2 halves to this, as there is to everything, right? I feel like this was the most on picket fence I've ever been. Like, I'm throwing opinions out there. At a show, I do not think we should be dead quiet. You kind of have to read the room with people around you, but if you want to sing along to your songs, if when it is time to woo, you do go woo. See, this is hard because I have been in a situation where if I've read the room, it isn't okay, but I'm fucking confused. So when I went to Bad Omens, I don't know if I was just standing in the wrong fucking spot. I was near the front, but I was ever so slightly to the right because I didn't want to be in the middle of the pit. You have the pit area. Around the pit area, usually you jump and sing, and then if you're more of a stander, you're against the wall or you're at the back. Like, there's like a invisible map line, right? So I was like jumping and going like woo, and other people were going woo, but The people that were around, it was a lot of girls standing filming with men like holding on to their girls. Love that. That's so cute. Like, bring your man to the show day. If I would like start to jump, like I would get a look and I was like, this is really strange. Mind you, I was there I think a few weeks earlier for Sleeping with Sirens. Best show ever. I was standing in about the same spot, whole crowd jumping, whole crowd singing. You would think Bad Omens would be a heavier gig. Almost like kind of gets me with like TikTokification of music. Like, this was around the time where Bad Omens had blown up with that new album on TikTok. Whereas Sleeping with Sirens, there were so many fans that had been around since like early 2010s.
Like, I keep seeing all these videos coming up with people being like, oh my god, we were so loud in Birmingham and all this kind of thing, and like it was so fun and we were able to like really go crazy. But in London, like, people were loud and shit, but I wasn't allowed to be.
I hate that. I really hate that about like viral artists. I mentioned going to the One Direction show, and I even think like my friend group were like, don't sing, don't scream. I think like a woohoo is good, but like if you are trying to absolutely burst a lung and a couple eardrums to either side of you, you're probably going like, oh, I don't want to say too hard, but you can still go woo and like feel the enjoyment without like squealing, and especially not squealing for 2 hours straight. Like maybe just like a little, like maybe a couple of those when it's appropriate. I think it's so bad to say like you can't dance or you can't sing or you can't do this. Like, it's literally just being appropriate. And also going to a concert where you don't do that, why are you there, brother? Like, I don't know if this is because we're in an age where like we watch things on a screen and we're just like consumed by it in such a placid mood. Like, this is fun, I'm enjoying this. This song really makes me feel boogie woogie inside. I'm not a fucking psychologist, I don't know. Anyways, this is actually making me sad.
And it was horrible. I cried at the show, I cried on the way home, I cried this morning. I haven't stopped crying. Actually, this is the first time I stopped crying.
Her phone's shaking when she's
because it was horrible. It was actually horrible.
Dan, I was also at that show and so many other people were screaming. It generally made the vibe so much better. I cannot stand people without concert etiquettes and just basic human kindness. You're meant to have fun.
To see her live again. I got to see her at Hyde Park a couple months back with one of my best friends, and safe to say, I did not have a repeat of events that happened at her show.
Oh my god, everybody in the comments is so happy for her. I don't actually have much time to like shit scroll, and I've been doing those videos recently of artists doing terrible things. This is an artist doing a fucking great thing. This is why I'm scared to go see Taylor Swift, because I won't be dressing up. Not everybody can dress up, and honestly, sometimes I can't even be fucked. That's my favorite thing, is dressing up and going to shows, because I don't really dress up as much in my normal day life. I don't really leave the house unless it's for a show. To wear like 7-inch platforms to the grocery store, honestly, love it, but kind of a hazard for me. Show, I'm thinking about music. I was a dancer. I can coordinate myself with music. That is fine. If you are asking me to find the cheese whilst holding yogurt and then also there's a lady coming at me with a trolley. Also, if you try driving manual in shoes that big, but then on the other spectrum, if I don't wear my platform Vans, I cannot get the clutch all the way in. YouTube family probably don't know this, but I have a 92 Miata, and it's supposed to be a tiny car, right, for tiny people. If I wear flat Converse, no way in hell are we changing gear. We're not leaving the bloody car park unless I decide to drive down the road in reverse. Just completely, absolutely fuck the clutch, like just break it. It's so weird because of my best friend throughout most of my high school years. She could only drive her manual car barefoot. I didn't have this issue when I learnt to drive in the driving instructor's car, which was a Swift. Swifts kind of go hard. Like, shifting gears actually very similar to the one I have in Miata at the moment. Like, it almost, like it snaps. The Miata used to have to give it a push. It like wants to. It's almost like it's magnetic. Anyway, don't be an asshole at concerts, and subscribe. We are on our way to 40k. I actually really wanted to get to 50 by the end of the year, but that's really not happening. Meter clothing, it's also still coming if you want to sign up to the link down below. It's like pro mental health, but like in like a cool metal alternative streetwear way, as opposed to like peace, love and rainbows, because I want a hoodie that looks like eat shit and die, but actually it's saying please brother stay alive. Bye.